The store has been here 96 years, opened in 1929. My grandfather, Phil Friedman, started with 8 shoemakers. They sold used shoes and was commonly known as the rack because the shoes were on racks. Then we went to fashion shoes. Then fashion came exotic shoes, alligator, ostrich, crocodile, which we were known for. And then we started making those sizes in big sizes, but not just big sizes, pink, purple, yellow, green, whatever the colors of the 80s and 90s and all the fashion, we had it all. And guess what? We had it on the shelf. He had a bunch of Georgia Tech football and basketball players that came in, started with football, and they had larger size shoes. Gave my father the idea, the light bulb went off, hey, why don't we start looking at this larger size? Now the interesting thing about it is, at that time, only the Italian shoe factories would do custom shoes. And Italians have short, fat feet. They couldn't imagine a 14 or a 15 back in those days, 13, 14, 15 being large, where now it's 16, 17, 18 being normal, right? How do you make a shoe in a 14 or 15? Because it starts with the machinery. My dad, Bruce, started with a few patterns, up to 15. Then before you know it, we went to 16. Then before you know it, went to 17. Then we had not only in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we had the football players, the basketball players. Believe it or not, the hockey players and baseball players were his niche because we always carried fashion forward shoes. The big size niche came in and that captivated the famous people because the basketball players would come in and buy 20, 30, 40, 50 pair at a time. You never heard of such a thing. Why did they do that? They did it because we had 2 things, 3 things: the style, the size, the service, and I guess 4 things, the price. Because what my father would do is, and this is another genius business move, he would go to the factory that made Gucci or Prada. But he didn't have to have the name Gucci or Prada. He just wanted the materials and the styles and the quality. So he'd put the factory name in it. Sometimes you put our own name in it, Friedman Shoes. So what happened immediately? Instead of paying a royalty for the name, the shoe went down 40%, because that's how much royalties were back then. They were a lot. Once we established our niche of fashion shoes and larger sizes, that the ball players and teams visiting Atlanta would actually come to the store. And we had a van that we'd pick them up at to facilitate that. So we wouldn't want to count on just the taxis to come. We'd go pick them up. And then, believe it or not, the coach of the 49ers, the previous year the Falcons beat them somehow, and Coach Walsh got up on the team plane as they were coming to Atlanta before they landed and said, "Team, this is a football game, not a shoe buying trip. I don't want to see one bag from Friedman Shoes in Atlanta. Oh, do we understand ourselves?" Now back then when the coach talked, you listened. The player didn't decide, the coach decided. So that one comment brought us into the shipping business because we opened up a UPS account because a couple of the guys still came in like, how are we gonna get these shoes home? Well, UPS it out. We were one of the first of probably 3 shoe stores ever to be on the internet. And that was my undertaking, largefeet.com. I'm very proud of it. Now we're faced with our manufacturers being our competition on the internet. So how do you beat that? Well, you beat it with what we started with. Great service and great styles and our niche in big sizes. And that's why we don't do the catalog anymore. We still have our internet site, largefeet.com, and we still have a brick and mortar store. And we'd like to marry all of it, and that's what I believe is what it's keeping a family store in business.
Randy Teilhaber, I am the first son, 68 years old, and I grew up here my whole life. So I've been coming down here since I was 8 or 9 years old. Spent more time here than I did at home. You know, worked weekends, summers, growing up, and it's just innate. Athletes that have come in here, you make really good friends with, and it's just spread through word of mouth, no advertising, and you know, most of the prominent athletes have been in here. You know, from boxing to basketball to baseball. Roberto Clemente was probably #1. He gave us his bat in 1971, and we still have it. Pete Rose was one of our best customers. He used to make them shoes with 2.5-inch heels on them. Politicians, religious leaders, so we were pretty much covered on all aspects. Our employees, they were more than just an employee, they were family members, and we treated them the same way I'd want to be treated, or my brothers, so it was absolutely more like a family store.
My name is Vanessa Hornsby. I've been working for Friedman Shoes since 1998, 27 years, and they've been a blessing to me, the family, the whole family, with Bruce, on down with the sons. We just kind of work hand in hand. When something needs to be done, and if there's not anybody here, I fill in because I know all the aspects of the job. So we are one family together.
On the exterior of our building, there's the famous alligator. Because as you know, we specialize in alligator shoes. Somebody entered a contest, it's a whole other story. He won. So here's a perfect example of what we're known to do. This is a silhouette of a Ferragamo. The Ferragamo is $8.95 in leather. This is crocodile lizard, handmade with the real Italian hardware that we sell in the crocodile lizard combination for $550. Leather, $8.95. Leather we would have in the shoe, and we actually have it over here, believe it or not, that we sell for $295. So we try to marry the fashion forward, conservative fashion, and way out fashion. We have both, but we try to get every type of style that you could have. And of course, with the extra exotic feel to it, makes it a little bit dressier and special. And that's what we've been known for. After 96 years, we're still trying to figure it out. And the great news is we'll be 2 blocks down from our 96-year-old location. And with the good people at the Atlanta Venture Group, we'll hopefully be celebrating 100 years with a lot of champagne bottles and shoes.